But yeah, welcome to Socialcast. Thank you for joining.
Thanks for having me on.
No problem, anytime, man. So just explain to the people, first of all, who you are, what you do, and then we'll dive straight into it.
I'm Jordan Butler. I'm 18 years old and I'm a videographer, editor, director, filmmaker, whatever you want to call it.
Love it. So what age did you start? Because you're 18 now, so you must have started very young.
I did photography at GCSE, which is how I got into it really.
Yeah.
But then from that, and obviously from my cousin who you know, Connor, just got more into film and more into just wanting to create. So just went into college, chose creative media, and then from there, so say like 14, 15,
Okay. Bloody hell.
but film about 16.
Yeah. Okay. And was that influence through obviously Connor, or did you just end up picking it up before meet like?
Influence for film, definitely Connor.
Okay.
From seeing what he were doing, who we were meeting, where we were going, through that it was film. But photography, it's just something I enjoyed really. I actually originally picked photography just because I had to pick another GCSE.
Okay.
And I didn't have a clue what to pick, so I just ticked it because my mates were doing it.
Yeah.
But I was a bit of a nerd at it. I was good at it, so I just ended up enjoying it. I wanted to keep going with it really.
Nice. It's interesting. So obviously, apart from Connor, what kind of inspired you to do filming? Was it just a transition from photography to then going to film, or creative? You did the same course as me and the same uni. I guess creative media is a bit of a unknown subject. I guess it's like, well, what is creative media? So, did you join for that reason, or did you join specifically for filming and getting better at that?
For that, it was specifically at filming.
Okay.
Because before I was going into the course, I was a bit like, I don't know, I was a bit unsure on whether I'd follow through with just film. Because
Yeah.
obviously I'd never filmed in my life before that. I didn't know if I'd be any good or not.
Yeah.
But with photography, I enjoyed it, but I always wanted more. And I feel like with film, you get that extra. It's hard to explain. You'll know yourself. It's just that extra thing.
Of course, yeah. And you've got so much more freedom in terms of telling a story through visuals rather than photos. I mean, if you can tell a story through photos, well, it is different because photos you can tell stories, but it's just different compared to filmmaking or like video format because, like you say, you're building something, and like with a photo, it's just a still. So it's like it's people's perspective and imagination on what they see in that image. Although with a film, you're kind of building a story for people to follow, which is
Exactly.
So I do get what
with me, it's like obviously I know with yourself, it's about making a story, and for many other filmmakers, it is. But for me, it's capturing energy.
Yeah.
Like I really enjoy doing concerts and gigs and stuff because I don't know. I've always been a massive fan of music.
Yeah, I remember you
just that
talking.
energy from the crowd.
Yeah, it's key, bro. I mean, that's what that's what the power of video is. Projecting, especially with nightlife stuff. When I'm shooting nightlife stuff, I have that exact same vision and principle. Go in there to show their perspective, show the event's perspective. So it's like you want to show the energy, you want to show the happiness, you want to show people smiles. So I completely get what you mean. I think it's just different for different things. But with concert and stuff, energy is massive, mate. And if you can't project that, then don't go towards that area. So, speaking of nightlife stuff, is that the route you want to go down, or is that something you're just experimenting with to see if you like it? Because you're very young, I guess, so it's kind of hard to really pinpoint on what you want to do. But just picking at your brain as a young creator, and obviously being cousins with Connor, who's now doing very successful things with Liam and all these other big artists. What's your mindset? Because you kind of got that insight from Connor, and then you can adapt it to your own. Obviously, you're not going to follow Connor's thing because you yourself, you've got your
I get what you mean,
dreams and stuff, but you've seen it firsthand. So it's kind of like, are you seeing it and like, well, I want to copy that route, or that's cool, but I want to do this.
Yeah, well, I get what you mean. Like with Connor, he's like, obviously he's done his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's made it massive. But for myself, it is, as of now, concerts. Like if I could pick one route, as of now, it would be concerts. But I'm enjoying music videos at the moment. Obviously, no concerts are on for the foreseeable future, which is sad. But yeah, I enjoy music videos. I've done a short film before that just it wasn't my thing.
Okay.
I think music's my thing. I'd like to take another shot at that just to see what I could create.
Yeah.
But concerts, I think as well. The reason why I enjoy film so much is where it can take you and the people that you can meet.
Yeah.
And I feel like with concerts, you can everywhere really, can't you? It can take you all over the entire world.
100%. 110%. What kind of concerts are you looking to do? Are you on about like Coachella, the Burning Festival, whatever it's called, and all that shit?
Oh, Burning Man.
Yeah, Burning Man. That would be sick.
Yeah, festivals. I love my rap music. I'm obsessed. Rap music. I'm a big fan of like EDM and drum and bass, like Chasing Status, Rudimental, Swedish House Mafia, people like that. But mainly rap. That's what I've grown up on and what I've always listened to.
Well, speaking of rap, you have actually had the opportunity to kind of meet Stormzy and meet Liam Payne, haven't you? You went to London to film. Was it a charity gig?
Yeah, it were a charity poker event.
Yeah, so
for cancer research, I think.
How was that? And like, did you have a brief, or was it kind of like just go down? Because in some sense, you can implement concert filming instincts into stuff like that, really and truly.
Yeah.
In the same environment, sort of. So, what was your mindset going into that? And I can imagine if I was you, mate, I would have been shitting bricks.
Yeah. Well, I remember because I did some shooting with Connor beforehand.
Yeah.
And he messaged me like, "What are you doing on this day?" And I was like, "No, I'm a kid in college. I've got no on." And he was like, "Well, there's a poker event and there's going to be some big celebrities there in London if you want to do it." And from that, I was gassed. I was buzzing my tits off.
Yeah.
And I didn't actually know until the morning that we were going who were there.
Okay.
So I had no idea that Liam were there.
Oh shit.
And I remember it was his dad that told me because we were in his kitchen, and he went, "Oh, you excited to meet Liam?" I'm like, "Yeah." So it's just Liam. But I didn't actually realise that I was meeting him. And then when we got there, I didn't. That was the one thing that really made me realise where it can go and how big it can get. Because up until then, it were all just a dream. I'd never actually seen it firsthand. I've seen other people do it, but obviously I've never got that myself. And obviously being so young, I thought that had been many, many years away doing something like that.
Yeah,
it was just mind blowing.
It's a great thing that you've done, mate, and fucking it's amazing that you've had that opportunity. Is that like, where was I going to go with this then? I was just going to say, like, do you reckon things like this kind of motivates you, especially when you're so young? And I guess that could have obviously drove your inspiration to do concert stuff as well, because you do get to meet a lot of big, cool people and a lot of cool artists and stuff like that. But do you reckon that definitely motivated you to go that route, or installed you to motivate you to do more rap, hip hop concerts, kind of charity events?
Yeah, it did motivate me massively. Obviously, seeing where I can go and what I can do, but at the same time, it's had it had an amazing effect. Definitely more good than bad, because you wouldn't imagine that there'd be a bad. But whenever I do work now, like you'll know yourself, you always compare it to past work.
Yeah.
And I'm always looking at new work thinking, because I always look back on that one video, even though that one video is huge thing. Obviously, Connor's involved as well.
Yeah.
But I'm always comparing it back and forth to the work I'm doing now. And I think it's a good thing, but a bad thing.
I think it's a good thing, because at the end of the day, like, how are you looking back on it? Are you looking back on it like you've progressed? Or are you looking back on it like, that's my best work, blah, 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 why can't I do that again? Or how are you seeing it?
Well, I suppose, I'd say a good thing, because it's making me think with the shoots I'm getting as well, it's making me constantly want bigger and better.
Okay.
until I'm achieving my own shoots at that level and keep going. Like, you'll know yourself, all creatives, you always want bigger and better. You're always striving for more.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And obviously you won't stop until you get that. So when I look back at it, I think that's what I want to do. And then when I do that, obviously motivation comes from that and so forth.
Yeah, I reckon that's a good thing then, because you're looking back on it and it's like a time and a moment that not many people get, especially at your age. So it's like treasure it and don't be ashamed to do that, and always look back on it and use it as motivation and fire. I would.
Yeah, definitely.
100%. And yeah, I do get what you mean though. Like every project you do want to do bigger and better, but then there's some projects where you just don't have the time, because sometimes it's time restricted. You don't have the budget, and like there's so many different considerations and stuff like that. And it's also people. If people aren't good on camera, then ultimately it's not gonna be the best it
Yeah,
can be.
definitely.
But necessarily it's not always your fault, or it's not always your issue. It's kind of sometimes just out of your hands, which ultimately then affects the project. So I think it's key to always remember that when you're thinking of doing something bigger and better every time. Have you done any like passion projects during lockdown? I'm intrigued to know that.
Do you mean like ones that I've wanted to do on like my own behalf?
Yeah, or just anything like, have you been experimenting or like that, or have you had loads of editing to do?
I've been doing a lot of photography work because I've been wanting to get more into it. Obviously, I started doing photography, but then when I like transitioned to film, I just completely stopped doing it.
Yeah.
But I've not done as many as I've wanted to do, to be honest. But I've been using it as a break
Okay.
because I've been filming and editing non-stop, especially the editing. And you'll know yourself, it's tiring nights. You'll know better than me. It's
Yeah.
sleepless nights.
Yeah. 100%.
So it's been very good to have a break. But at the same time, when you have a break, I'm like, I want to shoot now
Yeah. Yeah.
because
I
it's lockdown. I can't.
I think it's good though, because I've obviously had that break whilst I was traveling. So like you're having it now during quarantine. So for me, I've switched the button on where I'm working, doing, because I've had such a long break whilst traveling. So I'm doing loads of YouTube videos and podcasts and stuff like that. But I always give advice to people, especially in this situation, and creators, to maybe do one or two maybe cool projects or whatever. It's up to you what you want to do, I guess. But this is just advice that you use this time efficiently and reflect and look back on work, and then see what you can do better or do bigger or make wise choices going forward when lockdown kind of goes away and stuff like that. So I think it's a good thing personally for a lot of creators, because I think people will start figuring out what it is they actually want to do, and things like that. Like time's crucial, especially as creators.
Yeah, definitely.
And when it's forced time like it is now, and you literally can't work, it's probably the best thing to happen for creators.
Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely.
How do you? We've been on a behind the scenes project before, but I haven't worked with you in terms of you doing the work. How do you like to work? How do you like approach clients? Do you want creative freedom? You just go on set and kind of just think like of concepts on set, which I've done many times before, but now I'm trying to do more prepped work. But how do you approach work these days?
I'm a bit stuck in middle. Originally it was just like run and gun. Right, we're shooting. Let's do, like, I get there, send me a song, I'll think of ideas. We'll do this. We'll do that. But now I can't do that. I need an idea beforehand. I want to approach it with an idea, and I've noticed whenever I do that, my videos have always been the better ones that I've done
Yeah,
out
yeah.
of all my projects. And like, obviously, you'll know yourself with video, you always want to make something original. Like, you don't just want to do the same thing that's been like pumped out on for a music video, link up TV 500,000 times. You want to do something different, something eye catching, something that you can get good recognition for.
Of course.
And it can be difficult, and like with the client that you get, if they're not giving you that creative freedom, it does make it a lot more difficult. And at the same time, like, you need to take projects which, like, you want to take them, but you need money at the same time. It's like, which projects, like, you've got to balance them, aren't you?
Yeah.
But no, what are you saying?
I think just as being in your position when I was your age, I was doing the exact same thing, taking a lot of money, especially because you're trying to build a brand at the end of the day. So you're going to do a lot of jobs in order to get your name out there, one, and to get paid. But what I'm doing now, because I've got to that point, I'm starting to pick and choose who I want to work with, who I can work with very well, and approach clients that I really do want to work with, and do it that way. Right, I'm just willing to take sacrifices, so drop a few clients that I don't really, not necessarily like working with, but I just don't feel like they're benefiting me as a creator or where I want to go in my career. So I'll always do favors for people, and I'll always help people out. So therefore, if I desperately need a video or whatever, and I've got free time, then I'll probably would do it. But my primary focus and all my energy now is going to be progressing to the career that I actually want to get to, rather than like building a portfolio, because I've already done that now. So it's kind of like, well, I need to step up the game. And one, my contents and my film work's not all that. Like, there's only a few projects that I'm really happy with that I share to people. So now, whilst I've got this free time, I'm trying to build that portfolio up at home with minimal equipment, and just build it that way. And then obviously once lockdown's over and done with, try get higher end people. But I agree. I was doing the exact same thing as you, bro, at your age. So I think I would say continue doing what you're doing. Obviously, maybe come out with a different approach, and maybe suggest to people more that you want creative control. But apart from that, continue building your portfolio and doing exactly what you're doing. 100%.
Yeah, well, recently I have been more taking what I want to do, because one thing I always forget that all the other creatives around me, they're all older than me.
Yeah.
And when I'm looking at where they are, what they're at, or where I want to be, I don't take into consideration experience and my age. And it's a blessing and a curse, because it's always making me want to do bigger and better. But at the same time, I'm like being harsher on myself than I need to be.
Yeah, but use it as fuel, I think. Use it as fuel rather than anything. Because
yeah, definitely.
End of the day, I've talked about this in Grits and other previous stuff, that this industry, you do compare a lot, and it's going to happen. It's a given thing. Like, it's going to happen at some point throughout your life. You're definitely going to go through a long period where you're going to be comparing and judging yourself to other people. Been there and done that. I've done it since I started it, basically, and it's only till now I've kind of stopped doing that and seen it as a bigger picture. I'm like, well, I actually see that as inspiration now, and I want to collab with that person and do this and do that, rather than seeing it as a competition. Because a lot of people have changed my perspective and really have like broken down reality. It's like there's enough to go around for everyone. And Aaron, ASC Media, he said that, and when he first said that, I was like, you know, it's true. It is so true. So I think never compare. Like, I know it's hard to say because I've already fucking been through it, so it's a bit judgmental for me to say that. But I mean, hypocritical. Sorry, but if I'm giving advice to a young creator like yourself, I would say don't be too harsh on yourself and don't compare too much, because see it as inspiration. Maybe go out and collab with them, learn, and just do it that way rather than seeing it as competition, because it's not healthy. It's not healthy for your mentality.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
I fully agree.
You're smart enough like that anyway. I think you are really smart, because you've been on behind the scenes with me. You've been with Connor. You've done a lot of other behind the scenes with other people I've seen. So I know you're willing to learn, and I don't think you really have got that mentality, to be honest. It might kick in every now and then, but I don't think you're ever beating yourself down. It just don't come across that way. I might be wrong.
It's different. Like, it's not constant, but when it comes to like an edit, say, or a project I've put loads of time in, put loads of hours in, maybe my most time in, and it's just not where I believe it should be or what I want it to be, that's when it can kick in a bit.
In terms of production, or in terms of
in terms of production and just final quality, really. What I've achieved. but then I don't see it as a bad thing at the same time, because it's like I can come out of the project thinking, right, next time I'm going to do this, I can change this. I know I'm going to better myself.
Or what I've started to do now is reshoot or just do some extra day shoot, even if it's just for free and it's no extra cost. End of the day, that's gonna go out with your name on it. So to be the best it can be, if it's a reshoot, I know most people don't want to do reshoots or go out and get more footage at free of charge as well. It's like, well, I've done this. I know my craft. I've done it for so long, but like I said, end of the day, you don't know where that video is going to get to. Imagine if it got a million views and it's not, and you know it's not your best work, and you're like, well, fuck, if I did an extra day filming, I could have made that 10 times better project. So I think my advice would be to just think about it a bit deeper. And I know money is everything, right? Basically, it is. Like, I don't give a shit what people say. Like, money is everything.
And people say that it's not, but if it weren't for money, you won't be doing what you're doing.
Yeah, of course. And I don't make it my primary thing, but I do understand that money is a fucking thing, and I need to make money to pay bills, to do this and the other, and I want to be financially freedom. I want financial freedom, sorry. So in order to get there, I also need to think about the clients I'm working with, my work quality, and all that sort of stuff. So I do understand the money side of things, but right now, whilst you're young as well, and you're living with your parents, and do you have a car yet?
No, not yet.
Exactly. So you ain't got much outgoings as well. I think it's worth the sacrifice to just do an extra day filming and maybe lose an extra 50 quid or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm just guessing. But to me, that extra day filming, building your portfolio is so much more worth than that money that you would want. Because ultimately, a lot of people work with want to pay an extra day filming when you're suggesting it yourself.
Yeah, when it's coming off your own behalf.
Yeah, because they don't kind of, it's not a criticism to them, but they just don't understand what we're trying to do, which is relatable. And obviously, it's normal living up here. No one's rich, and not like London. You can do fucking over 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 grand shoots. Here, it's different. Like everyone knows that. Like up north, it's a tough place to make a good living. And if you can make a good living, then big ups to you. That's why I respect Connor so much as well, because of how much he's achieved and where he's from and stuff like that. Like, I look up to him a lot. I completely forgot what I was talking about and where I was going.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But basically, just be willing to lose the sacrifice of money to make your portfolio and your work better when you know it can be better. Basically, that's what I would say, and that's advice for myself as well. I'm listening to myself right now, because even I don't do that oftenly. I've done it a few times, especially recently, but in the previous past, I didn't do that whatsoever. I go out, shoot, and that's it. That's my day done.
Yeah, I got you. I suppose it's good advice for every creative, really. Photographers, videographers, anyone.
I just came with that up on the spot. Shit, that was actually good. Have you got any other interests as well, apart from like the media side of things? Because I'm always intrigued to know if anyone has any side hustles or any side interests and shit like
that. I'm really big on like Yeezys and what's the word? Like high designer shoes, but not like 10 grand shoes or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Just like hard to collect shoes.
Yeah.
I've tried to what were you saying?
Don't you have a shoe business? I just remember now you made a.
Yeah, I've got a page on Instagram, but I started. Funnily enough, as soon as I've started it, lockdown happens.
Yeah.
So it's made it very hard to continue it. Yeah. But that's something I'm looking to continue as soon as it's lifted, really.
100%. That's an interesting little thing. When you shared it, I was like, oh shit, big ups. Something different. How did that come about then? How have you always been into shoes, or is it just something else?
I suppose that's just me being a fan of rap, really. Growing up watching rappers, seeing what they're wearing and whatnot. I'm a massive fan of Kanye West. I absolutely love Kanye West.
I'm a millionaire.
Obviously, Yeezy's his thing, so yeah, exactly.
So how are you getting the shoes? Is it like you buy them and then resell them like Gary Vee does, or I don't know how you do it. I'm intrigued.
I've got a couple of mates involved.
Yeah, be careful
So
about what you say. I don't want you to give away your business, but just like
yeah, I've got a couple of mates involved who help with certain stuff, and then there's like there's normal ways like you can queue up for the shoe at crack of dawn at like 4 a.m. or whatever it is, stupid times. Not guaranteed to get them. Easiest way is raffles.
Yeah.
But if you know the right people and you know like who to speak to, it's much easier to get a pair than you'd think.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's mad. I've never seen people stack up like line up for shoes before until I went to America. I went to New York. And the line was going outside the door, and I was like, I've never seen this before. You won't see that in UK. I mean, you might see it in London, but Americans are crazy for shoes and shit like that. Like for fashion,
Yeah, I've seen it.
For fashion. I was just mind boggled by it. So it is a big industry to get in, and if it kicks off, I think it'll do very well, bro. To be honest, it's a good little side hustle. It's good.
It's good. I think as of now, because obviously it's just a tiny little thing. It's easy to do. It's fun, but I suppose it's going to be finding a balance of what I want to prioritize as well. I know I do want to prioritize film, but it's finding the time for both.
There's always time, though. I believe that, because if there wasn't enough time, then there would be no millionaires, there would be no billionaires. So it's like there's always time for something. You just need to prioritize it, or even schedule and put all your energy in certain things at certain times. So let's just say the shoe business, you spend a full bang on hour cracking down on that, like the social media side of things, and messaging people and all this other shit. And then let's just say 8 hours primarily on film, and then other shit, maybe like socials as well, because like a lot of people don't realize works. It's not good for you, and people always think, oh, if you're constantly working. I'm no expert, but I just know from previous history, this is how I work anyway. If I keep working, my battery kind of drains out a little bit. Like
it drains yourself out.
And especially when you're in the creative industry, like as if you're a business owner or you're a businessman, I can see why it is different and they can continue going. But when you got a creative juice and you're trying to come up with creative things, realistically, you can't be creative every single day. That's just the honest truth. You can be 90% of the time, I believe, but to be at 100% creativity every single time, it's tough. I wouldn't say it's impossible.
Yeah, definitely.
It's possible. Like people are doing it, but it's very draining. And I think socializing and doing normal day things definitely help with that. And you get inspirations every day. Like I find it weird. How do you get like? What are your epiphanies like? When do you get epiphanies of like, shit, I need to write this down. This is a sick idea, because I have them at weird times.
It's weird. Sometimes it'll just like, I'll be walking about, I'll see something. It could remind me of a location. It could be an item from a video I've seen. I remember it in my head, and I think, I don't know, I just think of stuff.
Yeah.
And I watch a lot of music videos, like a ridiculous amount. I'm a big fan of Cole Bennett.
Okay.
Everyone is. I watch a ridiculous amount of music videos.
I know Cole Bennett is, but I haven't watched a lot of his stuff. I don't think I might have, but I just thought I'm weird. I never wanted to do media. That's the thing. Cause I don't like people telling me all these directors and all these names and like films I've done, and I have no idea what they're talking about. I'm just like, yeah. Like I know I'm on it. Like I know what they're on about, but it's because the film wasn't my thing. I didn't want to do film. I just fell in love with it through college. So therefore, it's still new to me, and I didn't go in it for these directors or this cinematographer or stuff like that. So for me, it's when people talk about directors, I'm just like, cool.
I sort of get what you mean, because in college I struggled a bit because you know yourself, it follows like a really like movie route. It's very traditional, and with me, I would just music. So when I was trying to like convey my ideas to the tutor, do you know Nathan? Do you have Nathan?
Yeah, Nathan. Yeah.
Yeah, he was my main tutor. When I'm trying to give Nathan my ideas and the directors I know in music videos, he's trying to get it to fit how it needs to be for college through like people like Scorsese and stuff who I don't have a clue about.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could probably name like 3 big movie directors. I know Tarantino,
Yeah.
Cameron. I probably can't name any more than that. I'm not. It's not my thing.
Yeah, it's not
It's just
mine.
always been music.
And I respect that though, because it's kind of like, that's the kind of route you want to go down. If you've always been into music, it's obviously blatantly you're going to go for music videos or concerts, like I said. But yeah, college. I think college is a weird one because they need to start realizing that the media is changing every single day, and
Definitely.
the average filmmaker or the average old school filmmaker, even they're adapting new skills because they realize if they did the shit that they did back in old days, let's just say Steven Spielberg for this example, if he were making the first Jaws films now, people are looking like, this is shit, what the fuck, what?
Yeah, definitely.
The CGI now, why is he using dodgy ass robots that don't look real? But at the time when he made it, it was mind boggling. But then when you look back on it now, it's like, why the fuck was this a big thing? It's because it was new, it was creative and all these different things. Same with Jurassic Park. And now it's like CGI, all these different things and all these mad different concepts that are out there. You have to move with time, and I think college and film schools need to realize that. So yeah, I don't really. I loved my tutors. Like, there's one thing that I would say about uni and stuff like my tutors was the best people in the world. Like, if it weren't for them, I probably would have struggled through the education side. So I give credit to all of them, but I do believe that unis and college and film schools really need to develop on their way of teaching, especially with the modern environment that we're in right now and the modern era, especially technology as well, rapidly. We're going back to the epiphany thing because we've gone way off subject. I have weird. Do you read?
No, I don't read.
Yeah, I never used to read, bro. I've got dyslexia and shit like that, but I think there's always room to learn and develop. I'd suggest it 100%. And the reason why I suggest it is, believe it or not, that's when I get my most epiphanies. And you won't think it because you're trying to concentrate on reading. So when I'm reading, I get like halfway through a paragraph or like it's a really cool part. And my mind just kind of fades out. And then I think about media. I don't know. I don't know how it works. And it shouldn't work like that. I should be focusing on reading really and truly. But it might work the same way as you. That's why I'm trying to tell you this. It just kind of like you fade out and then you think about new ideas and shit and then you write it down and you go back to the book and you just crack on and then it might happen again. And I don't know why it does it, but I do feel like reading is some sort of way of doing that. I mean, I don't know the scientific facts or all like that, but I've never had all like that until I started reading. And as a creator, it's quite interesting to read because you see things differently. You know, when people write a book, obviously you're painting pictures in your head.
Yeah, I get what you mean. It's the same with me with music. Like, I'll be listening to music and like, I don't know, they'll say something or the beat, and that's what will trigger something for me, I think. And then when I write stuff down, usually it's my I just put it in my notes on my phone. My notes is just filled with random crap. Some of it I probably won't ever even touch, but I've just wrote down because it's come to me in the moment.
100%. Music's a key factor for me as well. I usually put like ambient, deep, sentimental tunes on and just let the thoughts flow and just write it down and shit. I do that a lot. But the reading is just a new recent one that I just find odd because it shouldn't work. You know what I mean? It shouldn't, especially with dyslexia as well. I should be focusing on reading because do you have any learning difficulties? I know it's a bit of a touchy subject, but
No, not that I know of.
So, yeah, it shouldn't work like that basically, because dyslexia, you find it hard to focus. You see a lot of things backwards and shit like that and whatnot, but yeah, it's very odd. I've gone way off topic here.
I suppose it's just one of those things, isn't it? It's different for everyone.
It is.
What works for you works for you.
100% it is. And how did you cope with that in college? Like you said, because I feel like you're very modern and you're up to date.
Yeah, I had a few arguments with my tutor about this, quite a lot.
Did you have Leanne as well?
No, I've met her once. I had Nathan, I had Mark for a little bit.
Dolby.
And Eden. No, Mark. I don't know his last name.
No worries.
And then I had Eden, and I think you know Eden, don't you?
Yeah, as if he's a tutor now. That's just jokes.
Yeah, he's funny, Eden. But with college, personally, I think it was a worse benefit than it was a good benefit.
Okay, yeah. Explain
like I think if I'd have just been doing my own thing, freelancing in those 2 years, I'd be much better off now than I was. Like, don't get me wrong, colleges, I've learned from it, but there was so much simple stuff, like the basics of stuff that they didn't teach me or anyone in my class, which I was mind blown.
Yeah.
Like, it never touched on picture profiles. It never touched on color grading. Just the stuff that it's like filmmaking 101.
Yeah, that actually makes film. They don't talk about.
Yeah, it's just all about writing.
Yeah.
It's like with me as well. That's one thing I struggled with. I could do the final project, and I couldn't, like, I can't write about what I'm doing because, like, in planning, they'll say, I don't know, storyboard it, plan these shots, but we're planning to something that we haven't got, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, he'll want us to plan a scene for a thing we're filming next month, but that scene's not been, like, we don't know what we're doing yet.
Mm-hmm.
And my argument is that I don't see how and why we're doing that, because we're filming in the moment.
Yeah.
So that, yeah. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
I do agree in some sense, because I don't want to discredit the course or the tutors, because, like I said, the tutors were fucking fantastic and I stand by them all the way. And I don't think it's their fault. I think it's obviously they've got to follow a certain plan. But I completely agree. I honestly didn't need uni. I feel like college was good, because first of all, college is free anyway. So I do advise college, but the uni, I don't advise it, because with film, it's not about what you know, it's about what the fuck you can do and produce.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I completely agree with it. But with college, I think, yeah, definitely give it a try. Get some knowledge on it. You could even do a year at college. Yeah. I reckon after the year at college, I could have just hopped out and done my own thing, and I would have been fine. Because there's so much free shit on the internet now. There's so much.
I've learned, majority of my stuff I've learned through myself or like other creatives, and just seeing what they're doing and whatnot. Like, you'll know yourself, the easiest way to learn is to just do it.
100%.
And just trial and error.
I want to ask you a question as well. Like, people in your course, because I know people in my course, people in your course, did they just do the course to go to college and then probably go to uni to degree and then expect the word to come to them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were about 8 people on my course. One of them, he didn't even know why he picked the course. He just picked it because he had to pick a course. So that explains it.
I don't feel like that's his fault. I feel like sometimes that's parents. Sometimes I feel like parents push it too much on the kids. And it's just like, they're fucking so young. Like, let them think. Let them leave education. Maybe get into a job or a part-time job or some sort of intern. Let them develop normal life skills. And then when they've had all that time to think, because if they're getting a normal job like washing or something, you couldn't have a lot of time thinking, because you don't really have to focus to wash up something or whatever. So I think that's the best way to do it now. Let them leave school, work a bit, let them get a bit of knowledge and life skills, and then that gives them enough time to then think about what it is they want to do in terms of college and shit like that. I just think parents are a bit too pushy, and stuff like that. Not all parents, but I know a lot of parents that are like that. And I think it just takes time. End of the day, we're still kids. When you leave school, how old are you? Like 15, 10 and 16, something like that? Like,
yeah, 15, 16.
it's just like, how can any kid just choose what they want to do with their life at that age? Certain will, but a lot of people just want to enjoy life at that age. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with what you're saying, because you're expected to pick one thing and follow through with it for the rest of your life at that age. It's ridiculous.
100%. And it's mad to think like that it's a thing that kids are forced to do certain things just for the parents' needs, and it's sad. And Gary Vee talks about it a lot, and a lot of people go up to him and talking about it and shit, but it's really, really fucking sad. Do you want to, going back to media, do you want to build anything? Or are you trying to like, well, obviously you want to build something because everyone wants to build something, but I mean, are you trying to build a production team? Do you want to be like a freelancer, so kind of like solo stuff? Like, what's the kind of route you want to go down in terms of that sense?
I've thought about this over like the last year a lot. Like all my close mates now, I've been contemplating this one thing for ages.
Yeah.
But I've not been happy with everything, so I've not followed through with it yet. But I'm very like when I shoot, I like to direct, edit, and film. Like I don't just want to do one thing. Like, 'cause if I shoot it, give some of my footage. I just know it's not how I want it.
Yeah.
Or if I'm editing footage, it's not how I shoot it. Obviously, everyone has their own style, and little stuff like that bugs me. But like, if I shoot it, I need to edit it.
Because I think the whole point of art, which is what the industry we're in, is giving someone something, another artist, a piece of your work, and then them adapting it in their own style and making something of it. And I mean, I think for me, I also want a team. And like I say, everyone's different. And this is not, I'm not challenging you, I'm just expressing my thoughts and
yeah,
how
definitely.
I do get what you mean, because I'm like that with certain things, and I'm starting to let go of that. And I think one thing that's helping me, and I will probably suggest to you as well, is do passion stuff, passion projects, because then you can do that without it being too like, you know what I mean? But like I said, it all depends on the route you want to go down. If you want to be a freelancer and do everything solo, then that's down to you. I can't really tell you what to do.
Yeah, I suppose on that as well, it's a trust thing, and I think because I'd love to work with more people.
Yeah.
Like when I've worked with Connor on projects, it's always turned out brilliant.
Yeah.
Like you, I don't know if you've seen the Bantam Baby video.
Seen that, sick.
Yeah, cheers. That's what we did. He directed it. I shot most of it. He did some of the shooting. But on that, if I because I trust him, I'm fine with just giving him the footage. Obviously, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I just don't think I've worked with enough people. Like if obviously who I work with and what friendships, relationships I have, if I have trust in them, I'm absolutely fine with working with them.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's the thought of putting my name on a piece of work that is guaranteed to go out that I'm just not happy with.
Yeah, and I mean, you won't put it out if you're not happy. End of the day, like if you won't do that, you probably just say, "Give me back the footage, I'll edit it." But yeah, it's interesting that you said that, because it all does boil down to trust and having a relationship with people. Because I've said that for a number of podcasts now, and people are probably getting sick of it. But it does come down to that. And if you can't trust someone, or if you don't have that mutual respect or that mutual bond, first of all, you probably won't want to work with those people anyway. So you probably want to avoid those people. But then if, let's just say, you're forced into that environment, it is tough, and that you know that the project's not going to come out the best it can be. So I do get what you mean with stuff like that. You would want it to be solo, but because you're so young, and we both are, we've got time to pick up good relationships, and then maybe start a production team or feed off work to other people. End of the day, I'm answering your question, and I shouldn't really be answering your question at all.
No, it's fine, because obviously we're giving us both our own opinions out there. But
Yeah.
another thing I want to say on the trust thing as well is, there's obviously, I look up to a lot of people. I look up to yourself. I look up to many creatives. Connor, Louis. I think it's Louis. How you pronounce his name?
Yeah.
Many creatives. You can always, I believe, you can take from everyone. And I'm not gonna name this person, but there's a specific one who I looked up quite a bit, and they just completely shattered the trust that I had with them. Because I did a project for him, and
it happens.
I was just mind blown with how it turned out.
It happens, bro. Then you know now not to go back to that person. And if it was a horrible, disgusting relationship as well, I don't know how it ended, but it also tells a lot about that person as well. And like everyone's developing though, so I can't really be judgmental, because that person might still be young, that person might be still learning. So it's all to do with time. And I think over time you will find people that are genuine, that are here to help and wanting to progress. And it's not every day that you click with people like that, and there's only a few people that you can. And don't force it as well. Like,
yeah, definitely.
I feel like a lot of people force it in this industry. A lot of people want to look good, they want to look like happy dappy, and they get on with everyone, but then deep down it's all just me, or like, you know what I mean? So it's not genuine. I know there's a lot of people in this industry that are not genuine. But I just think it's a journey that they're going through, that I think they'll end up coming out of, and be like, well, I didn't like that person, so I'm gonna do this. And I think learning's key. I think being on set, talking to different creators, which this podcast is helping me out a lot, and just understanding everyone's different and everyone's on their own journey. So like, I've been on that selfish vibe before, so I'm out of it now. Like, everyone's gonna go through that point. It's just how sudden you're gonna come out of it, because if you're in it for so long, it's gonna become a bad habit, and it's probably gonna stick with you for a long time. But if you can kind of get over it quick and start to realize, well, if I'm staying in this bad habit all this time, only bad things are going to happen, or I'm only going to be thinking negatively and all these different things. So, yeah, I think with things like that, it's, like I said, it's all to do with time. I think move away from that person. Don't look back on them, because end of the day, you kind of broke that trust now. And then just keep networking, keep learning, keep meeting with different creatives, and then from then you're going to build relationships. And then that person who's still going through that journey might, in the next year, be a better person, might want to connect with you again, might have a total different mindset, or they might continue doing what they're doing, which ultimately is going to make them, I can't really say make them fail, but it can make them fail, especially with
definitely
and stuff like that. So I think it all comes down to focusing on yourself as well. And it's not a selfish thing, but definitely focusing your own goals and what it is you want to do, and go full force into it, to be honest, bro. I mean, it looks like you're doing that anyway, so you're doing bits, honestly. And like I said, I want to work with you a lot, to be honest. I want to get more done with you, especially after this quarantine. I want to work with a lot of creators on my YouTube as well, doing some cool stuff. So I'll definitely be in touch.
Yeah, definitely, man. That'd be sick. There's as well. That's one thing that I think, especially up north, none of us do. No one collaborates.
No one.
I can't name one project that I know of where two creatives have collaborated up north.
Well, I've tried so hard, and it's so hard to like even get two people genuinely wanting to help out on a project. I'm working on I've just recently been introduced on a documentary that someone's been working on, and we're working like that, like fire, like we'll get on so easy. And I didn't even know the guy 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it just all goes to show the genuine and people are actually wanting to share projects and do stuff like that. But I do get what you mean. I exactly I agree with it 100%. I feel like we do need more of it. I think it'll make the community 10 times better. And that's why I'm trying to do this podcast and get people on my YouTube and all these different things, because I want to work with you more. I want to work with Camera Pappy. I want to work with Lewis. I want to work with all these other creatives. Yeah, I do get what you mean, 100%. And I feel
it's getting the right project and making it happen as well, because obviously there's passion projects, but then there's when you need that certain budget for certain videos, especially up north, it's hard to get that. And like you can want to work with someone and they'll agree, but it's obviously getting the bang on right project, getting the date, location, everything. It's hard to get all set up at the same time.
And it all comes down to money again, bro. I've realized that a lot, and a lot of people don't want to collab for free because they don't see the point in it and they just want money. Which, again, I do understand time's money, but you also need to realize that project could honestly change your career, or you could meet a really good friend just by working on that project or collabing, or there's just so much different things rather than thinking about money constantly. Like so much different aspects life can bring if you think of it differently rather than just money.
Yeah, all the projects I've benefited from the most have all been ones that have either not been paid or been the cheapest ones I've taken.
Exactly. And that's telling everyone something. And don't get me wrong, I said obviously I want to have bigger budget clients and stuff like that. But I'm not desperately looking for it. If it happens, it happens, and stuff like that. And I'm doing free stuff in order to get to that position anyway. So I'm gonna go through so many projects that I'm doing for free in order to get to that point where I'm making $2,000 on a shoot. So it's a process and it's a journey, isn't it?
Definitely.
So I want to wrap it up a bit now. It's gone on quite long, actually. I quite like this chat. It's been inside.
I'm not actually sure how long it's gone on for.
Well, it's almost coming up to an hour now, but I really enjoyed it, mate. It's been good. I haven't really.
Yeah, it's been nice to talk to another creative, because all I really speak to when I speak about stuff is Connor.
Yeah.
I need to do it more. I don't speak to many people about it. It's a thing as well. I think with Bradford and Leeds, I feel like it's very split. I don't know about yourself, but I feel like it's two just completely separate things, and I don't understand why.
I'm trying to break that. I'm trying to break that. I think a lot of different people are as well. I think Connor's talked to me about it a bit as well. He sees that, and I think we're both on the same wavelength of trying to break it and get collaborative people together. And probably leaves the people that are really not that interested and let them just do their own thing. I mean, it's down to them, innit, what they want to do. But I do get what you mean, and there's loads of people that want to collab out there. Me and Lewis are collabing a lot once quarantine's over and stuff like that. But yeah, 100%, 110%. I do see that split. It's like that with the music scene as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't understand. Like, there's some incredible artists local, and I'd love to see certain ones collaborate, but I just know they won't.
Yeah.
But it'd be amazing if they did.
It's pride and ego, bro. That's what it is. People don't want to let go of it. Pride and ego. And I think, end of the day, like, we're all human. No one's better than anyone else, and we're all learning, especially in this creative industry that we're in. We all can learn from different people. I can learn from you. Whether you think I can't or not, I can. And I know you can do the same with me, and loads of different things. Like, so I just think people need to let go of the ego and pride of it, and be willing to collab and see the bigger picture rather than, well, what am I benefiting from this? Because it's not about that.
Yeah,
it's definitely. About you. It's not always about you. It's about the community and what we're doing for the community.
And as well, like, just as an example, like from this, like I might not see a benefit from this at all, and because of that, you might benefit from me. But if I react in a certain way, egotistical and whatnot, you might have a shoot in the future that I could benefit from. But from that one interaction, you want to bring me in on it.
Of course, bro. But end of the day, like, I'm not benefiting from none of this. Like, this is free content. I'm doing this for free. It's my time that I'm giving to you, and your time that you're giving to me. So I am benefiting nothing from this. And even when the YouTube channel grows and I get paid from YouTube, I've worked hard for that, so that's completely different. People shouldn't look at it as, oh, it's getting paid. Why am I going to jump in his podcast and why am I not getting paid? Because it's a different thing. Like, I've worked my ass off to get to that point, and if you really want paying, I'll pay you. I'm not salty. If you think your time's worth paying, then I'll pay it. But I think people need to realize, like, with things like this, you're probably benefiting more than I am, because end of the day, I'm interviewing you. You're not interviewing me, so people are gonna obviously want to work with you by the way that you're talking to me, or the way that you're, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I get you.
If anything about what I'm doing for the community, I think people that I'm interviewing will probably benefit way more than I'm benefiting. But that's what I want. That's why I'm doing this. I want people to benefit from it. I want people to get out there. I want your voice to be heard. I want people to understand who you are, what you do, and then people to contact you. That's the whole purpose for this. And I think the community definitely needs way more of this. I don't want to be the only.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I want to see in the next year or end of this year someone else doing this or co-hosting with me or something, because it's going to get tiring for me to project all this energy. Like, there's only so much you can do for certain people. But yeah, I'm loving this. I'm loving talking to different creators and getting different thoughts out there and learning and all these different things. But yeah, like I said, I think everyone's winning from this. Everyone's going to benefit from it. And when it does get to a big thing, that's the way I think. I don't start things and think, oh, it's not going to do that well. What's the point of starting it if you don't believe in your own frigging product?
Yeah, bang on.
So once it does progress, I'm going to get people back on anyway. So even if it does grow to, let's just say I get 50k, 100k views on these in the next year or two, I'll bring you back on for free. I'll let you talk and sell your business for free. I'm going to do the exact same thing that I'm doing right now. Like, but people don't see that most times. And
no, they don't. It's just the same thing. It always goes back to the money thing.
It does, bro. And
it's the root for absolutely everything.
And it's there's no one's got any excuse in this moment in time during quarantine to say no. And I don't care what you say. Like, if you're working, one of all, you shouldn't be working. Like, you're risking people, so you shouldn't be working. Listen to the guidelines that have been said. And if you are working, be safe. Like, don't take on a stupid amount of work. Maybe do 1 or 2 jobs, social distance, do outside. But yeah, no one's really got an excuse during this period of saying they don't have time. I've been messaging loads of massive people I'm getting on this podcast, and they straight away say, yeah, more than people that I've asked up north that are local. And it's mad. It's mad.
I think that's the thing as well. There's a lot of people that they're just scared to put that first thing in. Like, I've messaged ridiculously big people, and I know that I wouldn't get an answer, but the worst they can do is ignore it or say no.
Yeah, exactly. And the funny thing is,
there's no point not doing it.
The funny thing is, it's like 50-50 because a lot of them do reply. And it's a sad thing to think that local people that, yeah, they're good at what they do, but it's not about numbers, I guess. It's just sad that local people are not willing to help another local out just because of a pride or ego thing.
Yeah, definitely. I've noticed one thing is it's an extremely selfish industry.
100%.
And it's brutal. It really is brutal.
It is, bro. And I don't want to come across negative. Like, the thing with this podcast, I want it to be so transparent that people are like, you know what, I fuck with this guy because he's completely honest about something. Because it's all right being like Gary V, motivational all the time and stuff like that, but it's not reality. You know what I mean? Like, Gary V is a beautiful, amazing human, but his industry's evil. But it doesn't show on that side, and which is good because it's showing people that there's a positive side. And I obviously talk about positive side of this, but I'm telling people there's a dark side as well. And
yeah, there is.
But you can avoid that by doing and giving advice I'm giving and doing things like that. That's a way of kind of controlling going through the negative route or letting things get to you. So I think it's, and being transparent, but being good with it, if that makes sense. I'm trying to be humble with it. So I'm trying to show like, yeah, this goes on. But you can also think of it this way and do that. So yeah, I think it's, like I say, and it's good getting different perspective from different age groups, like from you. Bro, for your age, your mindset is in such a right place, honestly. And you could honestly be like, well, you could have that ego because one, like your cousin's Connor, and you've worked with fucking major people. You've been down to London, you've met Stormzy, you've met fucking all these people. You could easily be like, nah, fuck this. Why am I going to go on this podcast? Fuck this guy. Like you've got it there. You could have the ego, but you don't. And to say that you're just so young as well, and so a lot of young people do have egos. I had an ego when I was young. I didn't really show it that much, though. I was always humble. But I did have an ego. I just didn't really show it too much because I know how it gets perceived. But yeah, honestly, bro, like I think if you keep doing what you're doing and have the mindset that you've got, you're on the right path. And just keep doing you, bro. Just keep smashing it, really. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
No worries, man. Just keep doing you. I'll finish it on any advice that you would give. I know you're very young and you've kind of just jumped into the game, but well, yeah, you've been doing it since you're fucking 14, but you know what I mean. What would you say to people that are wanting to get into the industry, or they think, oh, I can't afford it, one of all, because you need a camera? Two, which I disagree with now, because you got phones and you can make anything these days. Two, what route you would advise to go down? And three, what keeps you motivated in order for them to keep them motivated, if that makes sense?
Well, with one, I agree with you. Like when I was doing photography, I was using my phone, and then I just saved up my dinner money to get a cheap Sony camera. So I think no matter what, you can get the right equipment, and people think equipment's everything. I used to think that until I upgraded my camera, and I thought it's more about understanding the equipment you have than having the best equipment possible. Because you could have a raw 8K Dragon or whatever, but if you don't know how to use that and how to edit that properly, someone that has a Sony A6000 but knows the settings right, can color grade it right, it's going to look better. So it's not about the equipment, it's about what you can do with it. And like if you go to college, uni, anything, you can just borrow. So that's what I'd say about that. In terms of, what were the other two questions again?
Oh, crikey. I actually can't remember. I remember the last one. What motivates you, and what would you say that, like, what keeps you motivated in order for people to kind of listen and then implement that into their own motivation? That was the last question. So if you just want to answer that, and then we'll end it.
For me, it's just constantly creating and seeing. Like the main thing for me, it's not like money it's recognition, and it's people like seeing my work. And as dumb as it sounds, like I could get a random little message off someone I've never met saying, "I've seen your work, bro. It looks sick. Keep it up," and that'll make my week.
Yeah.
And that alone is just enough to keep going on.
100%, 110%. Well, bro, thank you so much. All of your stuff will be in the description, so if anyone wants to check him out, please check him out on his socials. Yeah, thank you for joining me, mate. Great chat.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. It's been good.
No problem. Speak soon. Take it easy.
All right, take it easy, mate.
Peace.